U.S. President praises relationship with Chinese President, but says it's hard to get along with Xi Jinping. I have great respect for Chinese President Xi Jinping and always will, but he is a very tough guy and it's extremely difficult to get along with him, U.S. President Donald Trump said in a social media post today. The statement came after White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said the U.S. and Chinese leaders could speak by phone this week, resolving disagreements over tariff agreements and other important trade issues. When asked about the possibility of a phone call between President Trump and President Xi, a Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson said on June 3 that Beijing has no information to provide. On June 3, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi told U.S. Ambassador to China David Perdue that a series of negative measures recently taken by the Trump administration were based on groundless reasons and harmed China's legitimate rights and interests. Wang called on Washington to work with Beijing to bring bilateral relations back to the right track. According to China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Perdue emphasized during the meeting that President Trump holds great respect for President Xi Jinping. The leaders of the U.S. and China have not had a phone call since President Trump returned to office, despite the White House chief frequently claiming that a conversation with Xi is imminent. Trump previously revealed that President Xi had called him in April, but Beijing denied that any such event had occurred. U.S.-China trade tensions have continued to escalate since Trump took office. In April, the U.S. imposed import tariffs of up to 145% on Chinese goods. In response, Beijing retaliated with tariffs as high as 125%. After 2 days of discussions in Switzerland in early May, officials from both countries agreed to reduce import tariffs for 90 days to allow more time for further negotiations. However, last week, Trump and other senior U.S. officials accused China of violating the agreement to suspend tariffs. Beijing rejected the accusations, calling Washington's claims groundless. The U.S. Department of Justice has accused 2 Chinese scientists of illegally bringing a toxic fungus into the country that could damage crops. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Michigan announced on June 3 that the 2 Chinese scientists, Yanqing Jian, 33, and Zunyong Liu, 34, are facing charges of illegal importation, false statements, and visa fraud. According to the Justice Department, the scientists conspired to bring a toxic fungus called Fusarium graminearum into the United States, where they intended to study it at the University of Michigan. The FBI stated that this fungus can cause head blight, disease in wheat, barley, rice, and corn. It is classified as a potential agroterrorism weapon, causing billions of dollars in crop damage globally each year. The fungus can also cause vomiting, liver damage, and reproductive defects in humans and livestock. Zunyong Liu was denied entry at Detroit Airport and deported to China in July 2024, after changing his statements during questioning about a red sample found in his backpack. According to the FBI, Liu initially claimed to know nothing about the samples, but later admitted that he intended to use them for research at a University of Michigan laboratory. Liu's girlfriend, Yanqing Jian, works in that lab, while Liu is no longer employed there. Prosecutors stated that both had previously studied Fusarium graminearum in China. Messages exchanged between them in 2024 revealed that Jian had been researching the fungus at the University of Michigan lab even before Liu was stopped at Detroit Airport. However, the university does not hold a federal permit to study this type of fungus. Since the United States has no extradition treaty with China, the chances of Washington apprehending Liu are slim. Meanwhile, Jian has appeared in court and has been returned to jail pending a bail hearing in the coming days. Beijing has not commented on the matter. The University of Michigan stated that it is cooperating with authorities in the ongoing investigation. Hundreds of wildfires are ravaging Canada, sending thick smoke across large parts of North America and even reaching Europe across the Atlantic. As of June 3, Canada reported 208 active wildfires nationwide, with about half classified as out of control. The provinces of Saskatchewan and Manitoba have been hit hardest. more than 26,000 people have been forced to evacuate. Several minority communities have suffered severe damage, and a firefighting water base in Saskatchewan has been destroyed by the flames. Oil production in Alberta has also been disrupted. The Canadian Air Force has deployed aircraft to remote regions to support firefighting operations. Authorities have warned that conditions could worsen in the coming days and expect evacuation numbers to rise sharply. Dense wildfire smoke is blanketing parts of North America, reducing visibility and causing breathing difficulties for millions in both Canada and the US. Officials in 4 Canadian provinces and 4 US states, Michigan, Minnesota, Nebraska, and Wisconsin, have issued hazardous air quality alerts, urging residents to limit outdoor activities. The EU's Copernicus Atmosphere Monitoring Service, CAMS, reported that massive plumes of smoke have reached northwestern Europe since June 1st. While the smoke is currently at high altitudes and not posing immediate health risks, it may cause hazy skies and striking red-orange sunsets. Canada routinely faces wildfires during the summer, but this year's fire season started unusually early and is spreading at an alarming scale. Over 2 million hectares of forest have already burned so far this season. This is a very difficult time for many Canadians, said Eleanor Olszewski, head of the Emergency Management Agency in Ottawa. This year's wildfire season has come earlier and hit harder. Canada is still recovering from the catastrophic summer of 2023, when 15 million hectares of forest were scorched, an event described as apocalyptic. Experts warn that climate change is making wildfires in Canada increasingly extreme. U.S. House Speaker Mike Johnson revealed on June 3 that he had a private conversation with Elon Musk about the proposed tax cut bill, expressing surprise at the billionaire's harsh public criticism afterward. Elon Musk is misunderstanding this. This is public policy, not a personal issue, Johnson said. I know that government spending programs for electric vehicles are important to him, but the way Musk spoke out and attacked the entire bill is disappointing. I was genuinely shocked, especially after our phone call yesterday. Johnson said the call with Musk on June 2 was very friendly, and that he explained all elements of the bill to ease concerns from the former head of the Government Optimization Board, DOGE. The speaker insisted Musk was making a serious mistake in how he viewed the legislation, which the House passed last month. Musk recently slammed the sweeping Republican-backed tax and spending bill, officially titled the One Big Beautiful Bill Act (OBBBA), saying it would add massively to the already staggering $36 trillion national debt. He called the bill grotesque and disgusting, and criticized Republican lawmakers who supported it. The budget deficit, already enormous, will balloon by another $2.5 trillion. This unsustainable debt will crush the American people, Musk wrote on social media. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt dismissed Musk's remarks as not serious, noting that President Trump is well aware of Musk's views, but will not be altering his stance on the legislation. Senate Majority Leader John Thune described Musk's statements as typical disagreements, and confirmed that the Senate still plans to push for passage of the bill before Independence Day on July 4th. Sources told Politico that the White House was caught off guard by Musk's tone. While he had voiced mild disapproval of the bill in May, his recent comments marked a sharp escalation, especially as Musk noted the rollback of DOGE's prior budget-saving efforts. When a businessman criticizes a law, the media should look not just at what they say, but at how their financial interests may be affected, said a Republican insider close to the White House. To partially offset revenue losses from the tax cuts, the bill proposes slashing healthcare subsidies for low-income individuals and food assistance, primarily by imposing work requirements on recipients. It also significantly reduces green energy tax incentives introduced under former President Joe Biden. Analysts suggest this could hurt Elon Musk's business interests, particularly as Tesla currently benefits from several government EV and clean tech subsidies that may be cut if the bill becomes law.